What's up, guys? Welcome to VHP Engines. Today we're going to do a little follow-up video for the how much horsepower stock. We're going to talk about, even though I kind of briefly touched on that, but we're going to talk about how high horsepower can you get before you need to sleeve or whatnot, or any modify the cylinders. We're talking about cylinder reinforcement here. How much horsepower can you get before you need to reinforce the sleeves or re-sleeve? Okay, so I'm not going to go in detail for every engine block like I did on the other video, simply because of the fact that I think we can run through them a lot quicker now. And this video is going to be two sections. It's going to be a power marker limit for the block, and it's going to be your options of what you can do when you want to reinforce. All right, so for D series and B series, I'm going to go ahead and lump them in together, even though, you know, I would probably say, generally speaking, not to push the D as far as the B, maybe, but saying that I've seen 400 plus horsepower D series and they handle it with no problem, and B series also 500 plus that I've seen. Now, I wouldn't say no problem, and I wouldn't warranty any of my B series stock blocks or stock sleeves anything past 500. I would say you're walking a fine line there, because but with that being said too, there's a lot of guys out there that have had their B series blocks over 500 horsepower on stock sleeves, and when they blow the motor, the thing that gave out wasn't the sleeves, it was usually a piston from detonation or whatnot. So I guess also too, it depends on how much fuel or what kind of fuel you're going to run if you're going to push it that far. And I'd say anything over 500 for whatever four cylinders you're going to use, you need at least a minimum E85, or you risk popping a piston. Okay, so B series sleeves, 500 plus, you can run stock on. I wouldn't go past 500 personally. Generally speaking, the same thing or close to the same for the D series. I wouldn't try it past anything past 480, and I think even then I'd be feeling a little brave to push for that. As far as the newer generation engines go, the Ks and shit like that, K series sleeves will hold anywhere upwards to 800 horsepower before you have to worry about reinforcing the sleeves. And that's just because if you watch the other video I have for when I talked about that, breaking down the K series, you can see the engineering that went into it, and you can see all the extra shit they've done to make that a much stronger engine compared to the B series. Now, when I say older generation, that also includes the H's and the F's and all that shit too. I would never try to take anything stock sleeve past 500. Now, as far as your options for reinforcing the cylinder, I think that there's only two real options, two real effective things that you can do to reinforce the strength of your block. And out of the two, I guess it just depends on your wheel horsepower goal and budget. If you want to go fucking sky's the limit horsepower, then you need to re-sleeve, you know, Dart, fucking Golden Eagle, any of those companies that are out there that are well known, that'll re-sleeve your shit. But you gotta realize too that's you're looking at thousands of dollars. Well, $1,000 for one of those blocks. And maybe if you find one, second hand, or I think if you ship it out, they cost like $900 or $1,000 to do the sleeve work. So now, with that being said, part of the reason why I never wanted to build past 500 is because I didn't want to deal with having to worry about sleeving the block. This is really expensive, and I wouldn't see me going super high in power anyway, so it seems like a unnecessary modification for me personally. Now, if you want to go on the cheaper side and still reach high horsepower, then the only option I would say is CSS. If you don't know what that is, cylinder support system. I think most guys by this time know what it is. I'll leave a description or the website in the description below, and you can go check that out. It's a really, really cheap but effective option. I think it's like $300 for most blocks to get it installed, and they warranty almost everything at 500 wheel horsepower. Except the B20, I think they warranty it for 400 because B20 sleeves are sketchy and they were still popping. So I guess they had to warranty those out enough to where they decided to say fuck that. But so anyway, okay, so cylinder support system usually costs around $300. Much cheaper option to sleeving, and it's warranted to 500 wheel horsepower, and proven to 800. Like multiple passes, long time running, 800 wheel horsepower with this system in place, and that's very, very impressive. You know, I mean, how many 800 plus horsepower Hondas do you see out there? And usually at this point, with this day and age, if you're seeing a Honda making that kind of power, it's generally a K that you really won't need the cylinder support system for. All right, now, so I know you guys are wondering and waiting and thinking, why the fuck I didn't mention block guard? And you know what? This is I've been wanting to do this for so long. I'm trying to keep myself from ranting on here. I'll leave another card up here for you guys to go back and check out my original review of the block guard and why back then I didn't like it, and now I'm gonna tell you that I fucking hate it. And you know why I hate it now? It's simply because the fucking internet is stupid. I had so many people fucking commenting on that fucking video, and and when I look at my analytics here, I see that the average duration for that video is like 3 minutes. But everybody's fucking quick as shit to comment, because most people are watching this video and looking for justification, looking for what they expect to find. And what they expect to find is saying, oh, well, yeah, I definitely recommend the block guard. It's a great modification. No, guys, it's not a great mod. It does nothing for you. It doesn't do anything helpful for you. And all it does is potentially cause problems. So if it doesn't do anything for you and potentially cause you a problem, why the fuck would you run it? Now, if you're looking through my shit, my pictures and videos, and see that I've built a couple with a block guard, I didn't know they had block guards in them. I didn't buy those as a short block. I bought it as a long block. It had a block guard in it. I didn't feel like fucking reselling it. I used what I had. Then I thought maybe, you know, it would give me a little bit of reinforcement. But doing more research, looking into it some more, you know, I appreciate the block guard for one thing. You know, the one thing is that it pioneered a new movement for the cylinder support system guys to come up with some shit. It's like old technology that wasn't really great in the beginning, but the concept was decent, and it became something better now. That's exactly what happened with the block guard. The block guard, the idea was, you know, to help bridge that gap and close the deck to reinforce the cylinder strength, because a closed deck block has more strength because of the rigidity of it. It makes the block a little stronger. But the problem is, and I'll leave a link in the description below also to the guys at Cylinder Support System, how they show you the difference between a block guard and what they do. And what the difference is that the block guard, you know, is a generic piece. They took the mold off one engine and they mass produced it. But the problem is not every engine sits the same way. So you'll see gaps in between the wall and the block guard itself. And some of the block guards are shittily designed, you know, and then some of them are actually decent, but they still have those imperfections where they don't close the cylinder all the way, they don't close the deck all the way. And then, or you'll see some that are, you know, that are older, that have been run on it for a while, and they're wedged in there, but they're wedged in there kind of shitty, because your cylinders shift under pressure, you know, from the crank and all that stuff sliding back and forth, and it kind of like rocks in place and then settles in, and it could cause warpage of your sleeves. And even Golden Eagle says, hey, you know, you may need to rebore this fucking engine after you install this, because it could cause fucking out of round egg shaping. Now, the thing that drove me absolutely fucking bonkers on that last video was everybody's like, well, just hone the fucking block and then there you're good to go. No. You know, and I'll go get into an argument with some guy before I let it go. He's like, well, yeah. I was like, honing doesn't take off material for the cylinders. And then guy's like, well, yeah, well, I check my fucking piston to wall clearance, and I check for out of round, and I take off like a fucking thousandth of an inch or some shit like that. Dude, I've sat in the fucking engine block, and I have honed and honed and honed and honed, because I had a little imperfection in my block, a small one, a small nick that I was trying to smooth out. And you know what? It didn't fucking happen. Your hones do take off material, but they take off so little that it's next to fucking impossible to tell. Your honing tools are meant to just make the little lines in there in the wall, the little grooves in the wall, for the fucking oil flow to slow down on the way back down. All right, so that way the cylinder stays lubricated. Now, your hone will more likely run out of material on the fucking hone tool before you take off enough material in your cylinder to make any difference. All right, so if you can't just fucking hone and make it good, the only option you have is to overbore. So, just to let you know, that shit I told you about with the not really making contact all the way around, that's still going to exist even if you fucking resize the inside of the cylinders. You're still going to have that gapping issue around there. Alright? And so on top of that, you just paid some fucking machinist $200 to re-fucking bore. You know, you just paid $200 for that. So if you look at the price of a brand new block R, which will run you, generally speaking, anywhere from $50 to $80, we'll just say $80, and then $200 or $250 for a machinist to fucking bore over to match that piece of shit you just shoved in there, you're looking at about the same fucking price as it costs for CSS, which is warranted at $500 and proven to reach fucking $8. Now, what the fucking CSS guys did is they machined it specifically for your block to give a real proper closed deck, real bracing and reinforcing all around your cylinders. That is good stuff, and it works. They proved it. They've been around for a long time. There's a lot of cars out there, a lot of big fucking horsepower guys out there running CSS on their B series blocks and shit. So why the fuck would you go through all these steps to make your placebo item work? Because that's all it is, you know. And I see that in a lot of fucking groups or a lot of forums. Well, I like to have the block art in there as a peace of mind. Well, fuck, dude, it's a placebo. Why don't you say a prayer over your block when you're fucking putting it together? That'll give you a peace of mind because God is looking down on your engine block and God's not gonna let it blow up. That's the same shit you're doing, except for that fucking piece of metal you're putting in there could cause problems. So no, don't fucking use a block art. I said before, whatever, it won't hurt. But you know what? Why spend the fucking money on a placebo? It's not gonna work. Throw it away. You're gonna make the same fucking power regardless. Your engine sleeves are gonna crack at the same power regardless whether it's there or not. You know, and just to show you that the times changed, there's so many people now out here making big horsepower that a lot of the things that we thought like even 10 years ago are out the window. If you look at the forums, you go back and look at a lot of the forums for these topics, you'll see that there's a lot of people saying, well, fuck, dude, stock 300 and 350 horsepower on stock sleeves is a ticking time bomb. And we know for a fact that that shit is not the case anymore. Because 2017 compared to 2007, there's a lot more people out here making a lot more fucking power, you know. And it might be due to the fact that the Chinese knockoff guys have got really good at what they're doing and they're so cheap that anybody can make fucking high horsepower on these engines nowadays. But, anyway, I know that fucking the majority of this video has been dominated by my talk about the stupid ass fucking block art, but you know, it really isn't too much detail to it, you know. If you're gonna use the older shit like the fucking OBD1, OBD2 engines, if you're gonna use anything 2000 and below, don't try and push your stock sleeves past 500 horsepower. Yes, some B series have gone over 500 and lasted, but that is a matter of time before a mistake happens to give it out. You don't have as much forgiveness at that kind of power level that you would if you were in the 400 still. So maximum horsepower 500. You don't need to do anything else to your sleeves with that. You just need to do pistons and rods, and there you go, 500 horsepower. If you want to make race car power and you don't want to have to dig into your sleeves, then go with K series because they can make fucking huge race car numbers without having to reinforce the cylinders here. And it's just really as simple as that, you know. All right, so I'll go ahead and wrap up the video. And I swear to Christ, I'm not going to fucking respond to you douchebags that come in here talking shit about your fucking block art love. I'm not even going to deal with it. I try to talk to everybody on my videos, whether it's good or bad. I'm just not going to fucking entertain you assholes no more. I don't give a shit. Come in, talk the shit you want, leave your fucking dislikes, and be about your merry way. Don't watch one of my fucking videos again. For the rest of you guys that do appreciate this kind of shit, you know, leave a thumbs up. I really appreciate that, guys. The likes and the comments, all the activity on the videos help get these shit spread around. So I appreciate all of that. If you do have a personal question to me and you don't want to leave it in the comments, you can go to my links to below, and I'll have all my social medias down there below. You can hit me up on Instagram. I don't mind. More of you guys are doing that recently. But just know that if you're gonna have a topic with me that's gonna last more than a quick question and a quick answer, hit me up on Facebook instead, guys. I fucking absolutely hate going on my goddamn phone and typing on fucking Instagram. It's crazy. It takes forever. A lot of my answers are going to be long. So just do me the favor of going to Facebook so that way I can hop on my computer real quick and answer you that way. Also, a lot of you guys do hit me up later at night. You know, like I do sometimes be up till 1, 2 o'clock in the morning, even when I should be fucking sleeping. And even if I know I shouldn't, a lot of times I answer you guys. So, you can leave comments or messages and shit later on. If you see me active, or like I've been active recently, I don't answer you. I'm not trying to ignore you. I'm just trying to keep myself from getting into a conversation. What I normally do is I'll wake up the next day and I fucking answer your questions in before I go to work. All right, so guys, talked a lot here. Gonna carry on for the day, and I'll see you guys most likely tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Peace.